Hello and welcome to Footy Corner. I'm Sparks and we are joined by Tabs. How are we, Tabs?
Yeah, no, very good, very good. Always better after beating Chelsea. So there we go.
Yes, there's always small blessings, isn't there?
Hmm.
How's the old podcast doing?
Yeah, no, it's fine. We had a fun one on Sunday evening after the game, and yeah, there was a lot laughing at Chelsea, bit of laughing at Tottenham as well. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest of games, but we extracted all the joy out of it as we could. Because if you can't enjoy beating that vile operation from West London, then what else can you enjoy?
Yes, indeed. And we're joined by Bez. How are we, sir?
Oh, good. I feel really sweet as a pie after beating Chelsea and being there as well.
Indeed.
And other things considered, if that makes sense.
A successful visit. We
Yes.
always like a successful visit to the stadium. Yes.
Operation complete.
Operation complete. Yes, mine wasn't completely incident free. I ended up watching a bar, but that's a different story. So yeah,
Well, yeah. What happened? You said something about your, if you're allowed to speak about it, your ticket being
yeah,
stolen or something.
yeah. We can discuss it after.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay, interesting.
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it was an interesting encounter. Let's go with encounter.
Okay,
Yes.
right.
It wasn't much fun, but
No, but,
I watched it in a pub, and it was about as much entertainment, to be fair, because it wasn't a very entertaining game. Um, but yeah, but did it kind of meet your expectations? Did you expect it to be a game like that, Tabs?
to be honest, the way we played, I mean, we played all right first half hour. It was good, but it's who we are. Uh, to be honest, I think as we were talking before, Andy, the atmosphere was a bit subdued. It's just a bit of a reflection of who our team is at the moment. We're sort of we endeavour, we try. We work hard, but we're still obviously missing a few things. But and then Chelsea are so rubbish, they're so poor. I mean, it's incredible that you can spend 1.5 billion like they have and still turn up with that shower. It's incredible. So they didn't really offer anything. They didn't come really to play. So yeah, it was a bit turgid in places. But if you take away the tension, you look back on that game. It was a very easy win. Pretty easy win, pretty comfortable, and yeah, as I said, it was a day in the sun, and as a beating Chelsea, it was the win that mattered, and it was an important win because, it meant we go 9 points clear of them. I mean, because Forest were 1 point behind us. If Chelsea had won, they would have been 3 points behind us. So I think it was important just to get the win, and let's not worry too much about the performance.
Yeah, I agree. It kind of opened that gap, didn't it? It's like 9 points the difference now, and it would have been a lot closer, obviously, if we'd not won that game.
Yeah.
Is that it now, Bez? Do you see us finishing the Champions League space as we can now concentrate as much as there is anything to concentrate on with against Real Madrid?
Okay, I'll say this. Have one and a full quarter of the other one on Real Madrid, with a little bit of quarter left on the league status, because sometimes it gets a bit better for you. So let's say this. Let's hope we just show that we kind of ready for Real Madrid, but also protect what we have in the Premier League. Have some some pride, I guess, to play for the league, if there's any pride left. You know what I
Do
mean?
you, do you kind of are you bothered where we finish now?
Well, to finish above the other London teams would be great, just for sake of bragging rights, and just for me, just to brag about it,
Okay.
would be just fun. You
Okay,
know?
and Tabs, you're nodding there. What you think
Yeah.
that the seconds is a
Well,
must now?
it's not a must, but second's better than third, third's better than fourth's better than fifth.
First above the rest would be
If
great, no,
well, of course,
Tabs?
yeah. If we can't get first, let's get second because I don't care about the narrative. Finishing second 3 years in a row it's just circumstance more than anything else, and each season's different, and they're not you can't compare. And why not? I mean, if we finish behind Nottingham Forest, could you imagine what the narrative would be then afterwards? Oh God, even Nottingham Forest were above us, and so no, let's finish second. Let's finish above City, let's finish above Chelsea, let's finish above all of them, and let's get as many points as we can. And so we're like 4 points above Forest plus a massive goal difference, 9 Chelsea, 10 City, all with better goal difference. 11 Newcastle. So I think we've got top 5 definitely sewn up, and a few wins considering Forest and Chelsea have to sort of play each other. Man City, there's a few inter matches there that So I want us to finish second. Just because why not?
Okay. I mean, I'm not so focused on where we finish now. To be honest, I'm kind of. I don't know. I kind of checked out of it all. I'll still support the team, and I'll still, give everything I got when I get in the stadium. But the fitness of the squad is kind of my focus. Really, make sure that we kind of, if we can get Saka back for that Real Madrid game, that we can give that our attention. I'm not really fussed about whether we finish second or fourth, to be honest. I know that there will be, narratives written about it, and rival fans will take the mick, even though they've been taking the mick because it's like 3 times in a row you finish second, and but then they'll change the narrative to, oh, you couldn't even finish second. So I don't. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens, the goalpost will move. So they always seem to move with us. And I've watched rivals streams and such like today, and guys are going off and basically saying, we need Arsenal fans. And they do, because I don't think they have any content without us. They really seem to spin everything around to Arsenal and the way Arsenal fans act and whatnot. I find it a bit bizarre, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's just football banter. To be honest, the only team that can take the mickey out of us are Liverpool, and that's it. Everyone else, but it's football banter, and you take the mickey and whatever. Any chance to poke the bear to get a reaction, and look, we do. I do it to Liverpool fans, and they're above us. It's just the nature of it. So I'm not that fussed, especially fan media and stuff and like that, because that's just rivalry, that's tribalism. That's fine, but theoretically, it's only Liverpool. Everyone else, if you're behind us, you can shut up. But whatever. It's more like when it gets to the media and them baiting us, and a bit like just something small, like the ball is moving to Puma next year, and it's sort of like ball hated by Arteta and now going to be in the Premiership for the next 6 years. And it's like, they're just trying to draw you in. No, I know he
never even said that.
No, he was asked a question. He said wasn't optimal, and that's it. And even Guardiola said even more about that ball.
Yeah, Guardiola basically ripped it a new one, saying it was unmanageable, and nobody said anything about it at all. So
no, and they just do it to bait, because we know we're online, we're engaged, we're everywhere, and it's just there to get reactions and all the rest of it. And so I almost reacted. I thought, no, I'm not going to. Just gonna because that's what they want. They want it.
It's actually been community noted now, so it's which is nice. That actually the the community's kind of said that's not what happened, and
but it doesn't matter. People don't read that. People don't read the headlines.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah, exactly. Arteta football. I mean, even the Newcastle fans were singing about it in the away leg of the semi-final.
Yeah,
they were saying, Mikel Arteta, it must be the ball. And fine, fair enough. I don't mind it. It's funny. It's amusing. You do whatever you can just to poke the other fans, and that's fine. When it's fans, it's fine. It's a fair game.
Yeah.
But when it's the media, that's just dumb.
Big up, guys. Hello, Mark. How are we? Thanks for joining the chat. Guys, if you are in the chat, then please make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel. Any comments or questions, then please put them in the chat. We'll try and get to them as soon as possible. So, yeah, were there any standout players in the game, Bez? Did did you think anybody kind of stood above or went below even?
I think Declan Rice had a cracking game wise. The way he delivered that performance, even though he got rattled a few times by the Chelsea fans, you can see they're trying to rattle him up. Ex-Chelsea youth players we know, ex-West Ham player even as well. I enjoyed seeing our defence being, I'll say, solid against, I guess, I mean, I must say the truth, a team that's kind of like fortuitous in their own way because they buy everything. They buy everything. They think that's how success will come, just to buy everything. I think you need to build your pieces off the tower to make things happen. You need to start from somewhere. I look at the team sheet and I'm like, I can't see a player in that squad that I know for a fact that's come through the youth level or from the academy even. I know some have. I know I get clipped for this, but at the same time, it's like, who came from your academy anyway? Who did come from your academy? I'm thinking the only one I can think of was Declan Rice. For goodness sake.
I find
You
it
know?
I find it quite bizarre because there are certain streams I watch and they have Chelsea fans on there as well, and they talk about this wage structure and stuff like it's a common thing for them, and it's just like we
Yeah.
grew up when you were throwing money around left, right, and centre, and it didn't matter what you were paying players, and you go on about Arteta spent this and Arsenal spent this and this that and the other, and you literally done the same thing for 20 years solid.
Spox, the problem I have, I'm sorry if I cut you off, but basically when I see these tweets, as Tal said, and you said it too, I kind of avoid this thing, anti-Arsenal brigade, when they say the state of the Arsenal fans right now. There's nothing wrong with our fan base anyway. We're allowed to vocal our opinion. Like, as human beings, we're allowed to give opinion, whether it's right or wrong. We agree to disagree. But don't tell us the state of the Arsenal fans. There's nothing wrong with our fan base right now.
Oh, I mean,
There isn't nothing wrong with
some
our
are
fan base.
a little bit, not necessarily toxic, but idolize certain things, and they
A certain bunch,
it's
certain
just like
bunch.
they can't call anything out. That's kind of the issue I have, and I consider myself to be like middle of the road where, I wanted more transfers in the summer. I didn't get it. I'm not going to keep my toys out of the pram. Certainly not right now. But it's hard because you have to still support, no matter what you are. You still have to support, and you kind of have to move on. We can protest all we want and do whatever, but unless there's a good proportion of fans to do it, it's a waste of time.
Oh, look,
Totally.
I just think, look, when you got hundreds of thousands, even millions of people supporting a club, you're just going to have a variety of opinions, and everyone's got access to the internet to do this sort of thing, to do that, and you're just going to cover the spectrum. And it's just, unfortunately, it's the how should we say the empty vessels make the most noise, and as they say, and it's the moderate ones who aren't there for clicks, well, they get put to the wayside instead of those who just do it for engagement. I think we've talked about it before. So, and unfortunately, everyone picks up on that as opposed to the more considered, more thoughtful, because that takes time and effort and is not easy as just shouting nonsense and stuff like that, and that's it. But we do it the same when we take the mickey when we see those Tottenham brothers or that one guy or that Liverpool guy or whatever. We laugh at it and all the rest of it. I bet Liverpool fans get totally wound up by him, and he said he doesn't represent us because we can. Again, it is what it is. But on that point on the money,
you're right.
The teams yesterday. The Chelsea team was worth about 550 million and the Arsenal one was about 350 million. So already just on that pitch, there was a 200 million differential just from a money perspective. So when you tell Arteta spent that amount of money, also consider the base where you're coming from. And also it's still never, ever going to be as much as Chelsea have spent on their very mediocre team.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is a little bit ironic, but Bearded Pundit is a guest of ours when he comes on, and some of some of it are a bit too much. Yeah, yes, yeah,
a bit
and it
too
goes for
much.
every single fan base. To be fair, so yeah, he seems to have an issue with identifying what pets are. This is a cat. This is a cat. It's a very annoying
my
cat right
God.
now, but it is a cat.
A fox, a fox or something, not Basil Brush, more like, Basil Brush.
That's one. No, I was going to say something rude.
It's not a big cat you got there.
That's a very hairy cat you got there.
He's a fluffy cat.
Yes.
He's not a blow-nosed cat. It was sort of said, but my blow-nosed cat from James Bond.
But yeah, he's on my desk, which is more worrying. Straight over my keyboard, and yeah, I'd be plunged into darkness before we even know it. So,
back to your original question about players standing out. If I was to say to you, we had a player in our team that in the last 7, we got a new player in our team in the last 7 games, has had 5 goal involvements, including 2 game winners, scored, I think 4, assisted twice. You'd think, wow, that's pretty good going, isn't it? That's Mikel Merino for you. So
he's done better than some attackers in the league.
He scored more goals in 2025 than Cole Palmer, and I think and then a few others. And
he has.
So yeah. So just one today. He stood out for me because you watch him. He works hard. So look, it's obvious he's not a centre forward and he doesn't have the centre forward thinking. But he's getting each game. He's just getting incrementally a little bit better, understanding it more, but creating those relationships. He works so hard. And yeah, look, he isn't ideal, but as a stopgap, maybe we shouldn't be too harsh on him. And he's doing his best, and he's what it's going to be. I don't think we're going to change system. I don't think we're going to start putting Martinelli up front or anyone else up front because the style we play needs a big guy. Huh?
Are you surprised by that though?
No, because Arteta likes his system, so his system needs a sort of a big guy up front. If you're playing 3-3, so he's the closest to Havertz that we've got who will play up front. And also then Martinelli, is he really an off the shoulder centre forward? Is he going to be posting up, so the long balls from Raya and like going up for headers, to try and get that first or second ball? No, and again, you put him in the middle. What do you lose from out wide? So. No, and you put Trossard there. Well, he's an imp, so he's not going to do the same thing. So you put Trossard up there if you've got playing off a big man. So I don't think Arteta's one for look at this late stage in the season. He may try something late in the game and say, okay, what the hell, I have to do something. But I think from a starting position, I think Marino's it now until the end of the season, and I guess he's getting better and better. So why not? Why suddenly change something which is having some returns? And fits with his style of play. So
you expect him to keep with him for the Real Madrid game as well?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Because again, he doesn't unless he would not try anything brand new. So unless he comes up with something in the next couple of weeks, but then half the team is away. You're not going to change anything, and the team is better at playing something that they know than trying something different, especially against someone like Madrid, where you need to be you just need to be focused on the game and not trying to work out where's such and such meant to be because I'm used to this guy here and that guy there. So I'd be very, very surprised if he changed, because it would be a change in style, change in formation, changing something or other. Or it wouldn't be changing formation, but changing style, and that's just not Arteta's style.
If Saka comes back for that game, do you expect him to change it?
No, just means more options off the bench. You have Martinelli and Saka, and even we've got to be cautious of Saka because look, Ben White's been back now for about 3 weeks, and how many minutes has he got? Don't expect too much. Maybe 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there at the end of the game. Him starting. He's come from a massive injury. Torn hamstring, surgery. We want it. We want it. But if you put your head over your heart, I think he's going to be more of an impact player off the bench, and it's just be like if Havertz was fit, and I said Marino's the most like Havertz, then you wouldn't expect it to be much different. I don't think. The only option would be drop Marino in midfield, Trossard up front. But then again, what do you lose with Declan Rice? Because Declan Rice in that 8 position has been fantastic, as Bez said. Last few performances, he's been really good. He's been sort of getting into the box a lot more driving forward. So I'll be surprised. Put it like that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right with the 8 position being like the most important. It's probably about right. Do you not think, Bez?
No, it's fine as it is. I mean, for me, the only thing I complain I have to say is Martinelli again. I know he's just come back, but he does not look himself. He's just, I'm sorry, but he just looks a bit like out of shape, a bit like he just like does this. Like after he does a chance and he just like he goes like, I think, man, you've been playing for a long, long time now. I know he's still a young lad, but please,
He is playing on the right hand side though as well, and it's not his most familiar position. In fairness to him.
No, of course. I'll reiterate my
Well, you don't have to
words.
rephrase anything. I'm just making a point that obviously.
No, reiterate. I mean, not reiterate.
But
what I want to say is what Sab said for Saka as well. I follow my head and again, give him if he's able to come for against Real Madrid, sorry, come on, but not play the game from the start because why risk him and make him feel worse for the start of the new season as in next season?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be as you both said. Obviously, it's going to be some kind of sparing use, and hopefully, it can be some kind of influential point of view. But we can't expect miracles, can we? At the end of the day, because it's a big injury that, as you said, Tabs, that he's coming back from, and you're not going to hit the ground running. Just no matter what with that kind of that kind of injury, we've seen it so much in the league. There just seems to be so much going around, and certain players aren't even going to get a pre-season this season because of the this Club World Cup thing, whatever it is. So I worry for players next season. So certainly players that are that are not going to have a pre-season at all. And I don't think it's fair for the teams just because they're competing in that to have later starts than anybody else. That's the league. We all start on the same day. We all finish on the same day. So yeah, I don't agree with. I think it was Pep's concept of getting a 2-week, waiver, and it's just like, well, I'm sorry if that's the case, don't get involved in it.
Not Man City can just buy who the hell they want when they want. So no, I'm not giving them any waivers. It's just the price of success. But yeah, it's no surprise this season after international tournaments. In the summer, this always happens, and it's just accumulation of more games, and it's the extra 2 in the Champions League and whatever. So it's not surprising. The game's getting harder, faster, more demanding. And players just don't have the time to train their bodies up. They just play, recover. They don't have the time to build up the resilience, build up the resistance, build up all the things that they need, especially if they get injured early on in the season. And yeah, it always happens. I mean, look, Declan Rice after the summer tournament, it took him until November to start putting in the performances that we expect from him. He had a toe injury.
But then he had a broken toe as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
so it's
Yeah, Odegaard is still not 100%. I don't know. I'm still not convinced he's 100% since his injury and things like that. He's dropped in form, but I just think there's something not right there. So yeah, always happens. That I don't feel any sympathy for Chelsea and Man City being in that Club World Cup and what they have to deal with, because they're the ones that they've got the money, or they built squads of 50, 60 odd. So nah, Sodom, and yeah, better for us next year.
The one thing that really gets me about the Chelsea squad is that they just seem to be buying anyone that's linked with anybody remotely, and then they loan them back for 12 months, and then loan them again. And I think something should be done about it, to be honest. I don't really care about the money side of it as such. It's the hoarding players I find an issue.
Yeah, players know this. They shouldn't join it. I don't know if they're allowed to do it, but that's their model. I think there there was some sort of video of the owners. They said, we're going to copy the Brighton model, just getting a load of young players and just sell them on at a profit. And it's player trading. They don't. What gets me is they don't give a shit about the players. They haven't got their best interests in heart. They're just sort of like they're just commodities. Now, look, football's a bit of an odd game when it comes. Football's odd business when it comes to it, because like, you know, we're buying people and we're selling people. So you know, it has connotations. But you hope there is some human aspect to this. This is just. Yeah, but and I don't understand why these 17-year-olds and their families and the rest are falling for it. Is it just the money and all the rest of it? Because they surely can't be thinking they're all going to play right wing for Chelsea, because it just seems like that's all they're doing.
The thing is, though, if they don't make it, they've got an 8-year package.
Yeah.
So if they're on, I don't know, say 60, 70 grand, even more than that in some cases, and they've done it for 8 years, 9 years, does it matter to them that they don't make it?
I guess what it is depends what you want out of a football career.
Yeah, but these people probably come from countries with and families with nothing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, maybe.
And they're looking for their first break, and they're offered an 8-9 year contract. They've had a year's contract on 20 grand, whatever it is, and then they suddenly go up to 90 grand on a 9-year deal. 90 grand a week. It's not to be sniffed at, is it? I mean, come on,
no,
you
absolutely not. No, yeah,
I don't make that in a year. I'm not even remotely close to that in a year. So, you know, that can be the difference between their families' kind of security for the rest of their lives or not.
I saw an interview after the game as well when Casado said, "When I've been playing here for the last 7 years," and it's like, you've been playing for Chelsea for 7 years. My God, he's been counting up well these numbers, hasn't he?
Who's this Casado?
Yeah, well, Casado, call him now. For a good reason, you know, for a good reason. But I'm glad we didn't sign him now. We
can go on delusional Caicedo because you know he can't use a calculator anyway, can he?
He's like 7 years. I'm like, have you been counting your numbers?
Yeah,
well,
I think that's the party line coming down from the club. To be fair, that they're basically making excuses for the owners and the manager, to say what's what.
Or I'm sorry if I interrupt, because I've seen a bit after the game, but when Timber said to Maresca, "Try harder," I'm like, my God, remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Do you know what I think he meant by that, though? I think he was trying to rattle him. I think he was literally trying to rattle him on the touchline, and he was kind of spouting in his ear roll. I don't think it was anything to do with the team at all. I think it was more that he was trying to upset him, and he was like, and that's when that's why he said try harder, because he's basically going, "You're not rattling me at all, mate," you know, and that's why he shook his hand. I don't think it was purely because that he was telling the team to get on, and I think a lot of people have kind of took it the wrong way. That he's basically told him to try harder, rattling him, and then he shook his hand for going, "All right, fair play, mate." So,
it's funny because after the game in the coronet, I got the Karen tell me off, like, to shut up and to F off. I was like, okay,
who's this?
Okay, like, you know, she just told me. And one of the ladies in a bar when we go to, like, in the coronet, she just told me to F off because she felt the need to.
Who was that?
And, well, someone I don't even know, complete stranger. She said, "I want to put my own gin." And I like that, had my third drink, and I go to her, "It's all about you, isn't it?" She goes, "Shut up and fuck off." I was like, well,
okay, random. Very random.
Very random.
I should have said, try harder then. I should have try harder then. I should have said, try harder.
I tell you what, Chelsea are in charge. They're not going to make top 5. Because if you look at their last 5 games, was it Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Forest? Forest could be an interesting one. They could be playing off for 5th place, but they'll be overtaken by Man City. I think Newcastle will get in there. So Chelsea in 4th at the moment.
Do you think Man City are going to get in there?
Yeah, they can win their next 9 games easy. Yeah, they they haven't got.
Do you think they will?
Yeah, they haven't got much of a run in Man City. Their run in is, I mean, if you let's have a quick look. My thing loads up quickly. Their run in, so they've got Bournemouth away. That's going to be tricky, but Leicester, Man United, Palace, Everton, Villa, Wolves.
I wish. Sorry.
You know, who else? You know, Southampton. Yeah, so Fulham. So yeah, they should be fine compared to Chelsea, and Newcastle have got a relatively good run.
Who have Forest got left?
Forest have got. I know their end of season is. I keep looking at Chelsea's end of season. Forest should be a bit tricky. They're going to be a bit touch and go. I'm just trying to get it up here.
See, I still expect Newcastle to be in there, to be honest.
Yeah, no, Newcastle. No, that's what I'm saying. Newcastle. I think it'll be Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Forest, Newcastle, and I think Chelsea will finish 6th. But Forest will be a bit tricky. They've got Brighton away, Man United at home, Villa away, Everton home, Tottenham away, Brentford home, Palace away, and then Leicester home, West Ham away, and then it's Forest, Chelsea. So it could come down to Forest, Chelsea on the last day. Who finish 5th? Yeah, but I reckon I think Newcastle should be relatively comfortable and buoyed after the weekend. So yeah, but of all those teams, it'll be brilliant again if Chelsea with all the money they're spending, because they need Champions League money at some point.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something, aren't they? Because if they haven't got the Champions League money coming in, I mean, the thing is that they can sell their players. They can just sell them at even money or at a loss or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't make a difference to them, does it? Because they rely on one player being £100 million worth of player, and they can sell the rest. But they get loan fees as well. So
yeah, I don't know.
I think that's how their model works. It is literally because of the loan fees.
But even then, like, you know, Brighton on 47, Fulham 45, Villa on 45, Bournemouth 44. So it's going to get very tight. That's going to be the most interesting.
You've even got Brentford on 41 points there.
Yeah, I think that's going.
That's probably the detachment, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But so even though Brentford, my second club, I wish I would have liked Bournemouth to have beaten them last week. So they would have been up there 47. So that would have been a pretty. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Like the top, you know, the top 4, you know, from Forest, but it's basically from 3rd down to 10th. Yeah, any one of those can get in the final 3 places. So that's going to be interesting. And then I was listening to Pod today. There's actually one thing, and sorry, Bearded. There's actually potential that Man United could not win another game for the rest of the season.
in the league, yes, but they still have the Europa League to go for.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's
basically
Leon,
a sneak in the back door, isn't it?
Yeah, but they got Forest away, Man City at home, Newcastle away, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Brentford away, West Ham.
Though, surely.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, but that's after Lyon. So that's after a Lyon game. So that could be after an interesting Europa game.
Do you not think they look better though now? Do you not think they look a little bit better? They look a bit more organised.
They played Leicester and then they played 10-man Sociedad. Nah, not a bit better. But then they're also Fernandes. If not for Fernandes as well.
Yeah.
So one man, and they said they played Leicester away, and even though they won 3-0, the underlying metrics were pretty poor, and they beat Sociedad with 2 penalties and 10 men.
And didn't even have Zubimendi in there.
No, Zubimendi played the second leg.
Yeah, second leg. Didn't have it in the first leg.
And they got away with it in the first leg. So yeah, there's actually, you know, they could end up. That would be very funny if they did another game.
I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think that I think United have a bit more structure behind them. To be honest, I think they look a little bit more. I don't think they've changed the style of play, but I think that he's adapted it, and I think that's all he needed to do. I think he was probably 3 games too late. But yeah, he adapted the style of play. I'm just going to respond to this, right? So come on, we played Arsenal, right?
I know it's fine.
You played Arsenal like Leicester played Arsenal, mate. You literally parked the bus. So, come on. And I'm giving you some credit because you adapted the. Oh, God. So this is quite funny, actually, because you could, up to 11th, get a European place.
Wow.
So that's the reason to mention that. So we could have 7 places in the Champions League, right? If Villa or Arsenal win the tournament, essentially, yeah,
and finish 6th.
And finish 6th, and so Villa do that, finish 6th or less, then they would get a spot. United or Spurs win Europa. Yeah, and basically finish outside.
Yeah.
I know I'm explaining it, Bearded. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm literally explaining it.
So random he is, man. He's so random, isn't he?
Because he's defensive,
It's
right? He is everything of a United fan that he accuses Arsenal fans of being, right? I am literally siding with him, and he's defending, deflecting, and I'm literally pointing out that it is a possibility. I'm not arguing. I'm agreeing with you. So, take a bit of your own advice, and don't get so triggered.
Their XG against Leicester was 0.91 and they scored 3 goals.
I mean, in fairness,
they only completed 78% of passes.
What was ours against Chelsea? 0.67 or something.
Oh well, yeah.
Literally scored and then went. Go on, then.
Both things can be true at the same time. Though I'm not saying Man United were crap and Arsenal were brilliant. No. It was. We did enough to win, and it was one of those games. Had we got the second goal, I think that could have been also like last year. I think we got a third and a fourth, and we just didn't quite get that over the line against Chelsea. You could just see it coming. We got that second, and then Chelsea would have just completely given up, and we would have got a few more. But it's just not us at the moment. But anyway.
Yeah, Leicester are terrible as well, by the way. So
they're rubbish.
It's just travesty watching them. I mean, you did an absolute mental mission, sending Rude there to help you out, because if they weren't so bad, then maybe you'd be in a worse position as well.
I guess that's one of the things to take out of the Leicester doing so badly, is seeing Ruud van Nistelrooy very unhappy as well at the same time. So
yeah, and he basically groveled to Keown. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. No.
So at the Arsenal Leicester game, they spoke at the end of the game, and Keown basically apologized for the whole thing. We haven't seen each other for ages. I've seen that.
Yeah, he made up for it. He lost the line.
Yeah, and he just laughed it off, and he was just like, yeah, a lot of water under the bridge, and we're all the same after the thing, and it's just like all kissing ass after the thing. You're like, okay then.
But at least the one thing Leicester did do, they are so bad, but they still beat Tottenham away in their current run. The only game that they've actually won in God knows when was Tottenham away.
Yeah, even Chelsea beat them, didn't they?
No, I think Chelsea.
It might have been drawn.
No, Chelsea beat them.
No, I think Chelsea did beat them, didn't they?
Chelsea did beat Tottenham.
Yeah, but that was ages ago.
Yeah,
that was ages ago. Their next game is against Tottenham. So I think I think Chelsea beat them, but unless they were playing them quite close to each other. But but that's Leicester. Leicester's so rubbish, but they weren't that rubbish that they couldn't beat Tottenham.
Right, I'm going to ask this purely because I've been watching other streams and I've heard it all day long, and And I just want to hear from Arsenal fans where we're at with Arteta. And I know we've had this conversation before, but I just wanted to, basically now that we know where we are for the season, where we are with the manager, where it goes from here, sort of thing. Either one.
I'll take the mantelpiece then first. I'll say he needs a good transfer window, summer one at least, to back him up in players that he needs. Not just to buy anyone, but for me as well, I don't want another wild goose chase like last summer, which was a bloody joke and a disgraceful thing by the board, As Arsenal fans as well, I'll say let's be a bit more grounded where we are. Let's be prepared for the unexpected, because all the time we expect so much of this club, but yet sometimes we go from a big in cloud nine, then we fall from grace, and then we get cold names and such. It really does my head in at times. I feel like
shouldn't we be expecting that though?
Say again?
Shouldn't we be expecting that though?
We can, but the thing is, with our I'm not attacking anyone, but with our fan base, we get support to be like, oh, we're here now, we're gonna sign this player, this one, that one. I feel like just hold your horses, mate. Don't get excited until it's officially announced by the club. Then get excited. I remember when we signed.
Yeah, can I just say that we were promised to get excited though, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, our actual ownership unit basically said, "Get yourself excited," and then they dropped us in the ocean, didn't they? Really?
Well, then when they did that for us in the ocean, we felt cold and we felt miserable, as you know. We felt like crap.
And then they put the price up.
We paid the price. No, we paid the price from a delusional comment, not from you, of course, from the board who said this comment. I know. Get ready. And we, failed.
Cheers, Bearded.
That's what I have to say for now.
Yeah. So at what point do you think the manager's safe for another year, another 2 years? Where do you think? 2 years. Okay.
2 more than nothing, and he can basically in his own way, in his own accord, he can just walk away because I think he's done so much. But it depends all on the circumstances, I guess. It all depends.
Tabs, do you agree with that?
For me, he's not completely blameless in terms of where we are at the moment. So he has his faults like anyone else does. But my underlying feeling, and also in terms of transfers and stuff like that, that's not solely down to him. So it's hard to put that on him. I mean, we said during the, he even said himself so many times, we need someone during the winter. So I think a lot of the transfer stuff and the strategy around that is a joint thing, and maybe not his sole responsibility, and maybe playing players too much too often that maybe leads to injury. That's a moot point because we're not there to see the underlying metrics around how the players perform, and we're not there seeing who's in the red, who's not, etc. So it's hard, but I'm sure there's a bit of culpability there. However, my overriding feeling is that he's doing an incredible job at the moment. That may seem a bit high, but if you think of all the players we've had out for how long, so we've had our front four. How long have they been out for? Odegaard was out for a huge period of time, and off the back of that, we still finished third in that Champions League table. We're in the quarterfinals against Real Madrid, and we're comfortably second in the league. To think that he's managed to do all that off the players that he's got and the team that we've got, it's amazing. I mean, look, Man City lose one player. Look what's happened to them. Look at Tottenham and Man United. Look at those players, and they've had injuries. Look at Chelsea. And it's I don't think he gets enough credit. Yes, he can frustrate us in his ways and all the rest of it, but he's set us up in a system that has allowed us to absorb these, and we've become used to it. We seem to have sort of taken on board, and I don't think we take it into account all the other shit that we've had to deal with, and to still be in the position that I think we're frustrated because it's Liverpool and it's a season that we could have. It's a season that we felt it was ours for the taking, and things just didn't fall our way. If City were the ones at the top with 70 points, we would be feeling slightly different because it's just City again. But because it's Liverpool, and so I think I'm 100% behind him. No one's going to be perfect. Everyone's going to have their faults. And I think he's doing an incredible job. In terms of how long he's got, who knows? How long's a piece of string? Who knows where it comes down to? So that's where I stand on thing. And I think we've just got a bit. We've got to appreciate what we have, despite the frustrations. Put things into context and see actually how many other people are doing what we've done. Yeah, he's gone away in Europe and got a record victory in a round of 16 in the Champions League just recently. We smashed City 5-1. Yeah, so for me that's where I stand.
Yeah,
well, as a poor City, yes and no. They still had Haaland up front. They still had Marmoush. They still. So what if they're playing poorly? They're playing poorly. It's not like we were exactly. We still didn't have Saka. Our best player was missing. Jesus was missing. So that's two of our front four missing. I'm not going to caveat bad teams, because you still have to beat City 5-1. You still have to go to PSV, who hadn't lost in 2.5 years, 7-1. So no, I don't really count out the opposition. I think he's
I don't disagree with you. I was just I was just kind of making the point that it wasn't the City of last year, and I would say as well that teams actually turn up to play City now rather than give them a free pass when they're when they're in their pomp. Who knows if they'd started losing actual games and getting results if they were actually trying against them last season, and if the likes of Woods
they just
could
lost
score against them.
But all they've done is lost Rodri this season, and Pep Guardiola can't cope.
I mean, Stones is always injured, isn't he? So he's out as well.
I know, but they've got, how many defenders have they got? Jeez, he's got enough.
Yeah,
enough there.
I do think as well. I do think as well. Some of the so-called talent that comes through at City has been a little bit overhyped, and it kind of glazes things. Obviously, you've got Gundogan, his legs are going, and you've got De Bruyne, who's almost finished as well. But yeah, I get you've got context that goes into it as well. But I don't think they lost. They lost one player. I think they lost quite a few. But yeah, it is a shame, in my opinion, that teams didn't try a bit harder against them to try and But I think that was another Pep ploy to basically get everybody else in the league playing the way that he wanted them to play, and he tried it with Arteta and it didn't work. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a bit of that. And for me, I don't necessarily want the manager out. I think it needs to be assessed at the end of every season now, and as to what we've done in the transfer window. Because if we're not supported in the transfer window, then that attacking force might as well go down again.
But that's not Arteta. That might not be Arteta's fault, though. Remember, it's not him buying the players.
No, exactly, and a lot of people do put it on him because he said that he has the final say. Having the final say doesn't mean anything as far as I'm concerned. It just means that you're given a list and you put a tick at the side of it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the final. He doesn't have the final say. The person signing the check has the final.
Exactly.
Final say.
Exactly. So he goes, somebody passes him a list. He goes 1, 2, 3, whatever it is in terms of priority, gives the list back, and they either get them or they don't.
Yeah, go and get me. Yeah. Here's a question for you.
Go on.
Here's a question for you. Do you think he's done a better job this year, considering all the context, than say last year?
I think he did a better job
to
last
still
year.
finish second. So you think, given all the injuries, all the shitty red cards, to get to the who knows what's going to happen against Real Madrid, that you think he's done a better job as a coach this year or last year?
I think last year.
Okay.
Just purely on the points difference that there is now.
Yeah.
From whatever, and I get your caveat of the injuries and such like, but some could potentially have been managed in. The problem is right. Again, we're talking context, right? Because everybody says, "Oh yeah, well he doesn't take the cup seriously." So now he played the first team in all the cups, and everybody gone, "Oh well, he burns players out now." You can't win. You just can't win. So you you don't take everything seriously enough. So so you're playing the kids in the cup, but now you've taken the cup seriously, but you've burnt the players out. I just that's what I'm talking about, moving the goalposts all the time.
Yeah. And FA Cup, we've been unlucky. Like, okay, granted we've been at home, but we've had Liverpool, Man United, I think Forest away, and then Man City in the fourth round one time. So we're not getting Plymouth away or anything like this. I mean,
the Man United game, I still put down to that kit.
I'm sure psychologically there's a subconscious something there. I think you might be right. It's a hard one to criticize. Yeah, it's a hard one to criticize because of the message behind it. But it might need to be changed.
Yeah, I think it needs to be a different message. I mean, there's no red in the black kit, is there?
Well, exactly, no more red.
Just wear the black. I bought one of them myself.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I bought one of myself. I didn't even see.
Very good.
The other day myself.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
I wouldn't mind getting one of those, to be honest. But I'd probably just burn it.
What's your size? What's your size of shirt, Sparks? I'll get you one for you.
XL, I am.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Yeah, I'm not a proper fat git, but I have a podge, and it shows.
Trust me, it's not as bad as it looks in real life. I mean, you might think you're some other team, but you've not damaged the bit down.
That doesn't even, like, the official ones. Even the emblems are all white and stuff like that, so you can't actually see anything.
Yeah, there's no stitching around the numbers or anything.
Yeah, well, it is, but it's all white, so it's all just it's just like I think that's just for for sales. But the official one, I don't think you can actually buy. They either give it to the charity workers or the team, and I don't think you can actually buy the one that is just pure, just white. But
I think they do.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. But the actual ones, which is all white, I think that's anyway. I don't know.
This is not the one. This is the one from I think 22, 23. The one you're talking about, Tabs, is the one played. I think with all white. Yeah, it was all faded, like a shade of white or off white.
Yeah, all blended in. Yeah, commentator's nightmare.
A bit like this.
Yeah.
I'll reverse it for you guys since I'm here now. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Who's like this?
There you go. Yes, indeed.
But there we go.
But there we go.
Yeah.
So a couple of things we need to cover, obviously, before we go anywhere. The Fulham, the mighty Fulham, beat the mighty Tottenham again.
What's the name of that play? They bought for 30 million. They sell for free. Goes back, scores against them.
Sessegnon,
was it?
Yeah, Sessegnon.
Yeah.
It was literally music to my ears when I saw his name on the score sheet. It won't be as well as North London is.
Yeah.
It won't be for fun.
Have you seen the stats? So Tottenham have lost 15 games this season. Arsenal have not lost 15 games in 3 seasons.
Jesus Christ. I've heard about this as well.
Well, their record is 19 games, isn't it? Lost in a season.
Oh, jeez. That could happen. That could happen.
Yeah.
They might clips it or break it.
So yeah.
Yeah, they got Chelsea away, Wolves away. Who else they got next? Villa away, Palace at home,
Oh,
Liverpool
God.
away,
So
Forest.
you were talking about Man
They
United.
could, yeah, they could hit the 20. They could hit the 1920. So yeah,
So
they could do it.
so you were talking about Man United not winning another game, and it could be right for Tottenham.
Tottenham play Southampton at the Toilet Bowl, but that could be another Leicester. So nice, come on, Aaron. That would be so fun. But that's 50. Imagine being a Tottenham supporter. 15 games in the season. We bitch and moan losing. How many have we lost? I don't know, 2 or 3, and they lost 15. That's just
ridiculous. It's absolute madness, and yeah, it doesn't look any better. But I was talking about Man United. They have actually adapted, but Ange just doesn't seem to have it in him.
I mean, look, they have had horrendous injury, but this is what I mean.
He caused the injuries.
No, but this is what I mean. Look at these managers, and Man United have had injuries, and that's why I keep going back to Arteta. Look at the injuries we've had and where we are, and look at the injuries they had, and they can't cope. They haven't been able to adapt. They haven't been able to have a system that works, and the rest of it is just. He's a dumbass man. He's a dumbass manager because he's just so wedded to this one way of playing and who he is and whatever. But look what you get, and it's people saying, "Oh, it's more fun watching Tottenham." Yeah, as a neutral, if you're a Tottenham fan,
yeah, of course it is.
Who would you rather be? Who would you rather be? Yeah, oh yeah, we loved losing 6-3 to Liverpool. It was so fun. No, it bloody wasn't. You want to win 1-0, boring, and be second in the league. Yeah, So no, I'm not having that. But the ironic thing is, they've actually scored more goals than us, 55 to our 53. But they've let in. Yeah, they've scored, but they've let in 43 goals. So
the thing is, Wenger used to play like that. And even he realised it wasn't conducive, and he had to adapt the style of play because.
But we'd still be top 4 though. We'd still be top 4, top 5 every year.
Different gravy, guys. Different gravy. Come on, different gravy.
Up until he wasn't, of course. But I
remember them those days.
The annoying thing is that they might get someone like Areola from Bournemouth, or I don't mind if Silva from Fulham goes because I think he'll just mess up there. But Areola's a good manager. I like him.
I'd rate him, to be honest.
So that's the only thing. That's the only thing. I don't think Tottenham will do a Ten Hag like Man United because, and keep Ange on after. I think this is it for Ange for the end of the season, and even if he wins the Europa League or whatever it is, I think he's done for. Which is a shame. I want more Ange.
Yeah, Ange in forever. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to survive. The cup final. Not exactly what everybody expected either, was it? To be honest with you, I didn't particularly want either of them to win, just purely because that there are a loud portion of Newcastle fans. But in hindsight, I think it was probably the right thing to happen for a rival fan, at least, because it was hilarious.
I'll say something, but I want to do with the Geordie accent if that helps.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
If you want me to do it for the sake of this shirt, anyway.
No, I'd rather you not do it in a Geordie accent, though.
I'll do off.
Well, your accent is almost Geordie-esque. It's not that far off. Yeah,
I'm trying to do it. Well, I'm not doing it on purpose.
If you said pet and YI man,
I know I'm ready to say my first one. Let me. I'm ready.
Say pet and YI man in the same sentence.
And say Kawasaki. Say Kawasaki.
What do you want me to say besides the YI man?
Kawasaki, as in like the motorbike.
Yeah, I'll say YI man. There was a performance like a Kawasaki going through the gears of Wembley, through the Liverpool defence.
You actually sound less Geordie now that you're trying to sound.
I'm going to say I sound more Scouse than Geordie.
Well, I'll say this: YI man. It was a banging performance, wasn't it?
I wanted Liverpool because if Liverpool won, it doesn't really change anything. They've won another league, and now now all of a sudden the League Cup has suddenly gone massively up in everyone's estimation because Newcastle have won it, and oh great, they've won something for 70 years. No, I just wanted that misery to continue. Why? I don't want them to be happy. Liverpool winning another trophy, so what? But if Newcastle now, oh god, yeah, and this stuff like
That's kind of where I was as well.
Yeah.
But I think that the aftermath and everything on the on social media, I think has more than made up for that. To be fair.
Yeah. But I tell you what, they are falling off a cliff. You know, the performance against PSG, and now this. I mean, Salah's been anonymous in the last two, three games. He's starting to nag it. I'm just a bit tad frustrated that we're just not healthier and closer to them, because I think they're starting to fall off a bit, and now they've got nothing else to play for apart from the league, and I think they've got half decent running. But it would have been interesting had we just been a little bit closer, with a little bit fitter to match up against them now, given where they are now, sort of physically and mentally. It would have been an interesting running, but yeah, that's not meant to be, so they'll still cruise it. But yeah.
Yes, exactly. My feelings really, but yeah, still not to be. I think it's still done and dusted, and yeah, it would take a monumental drop off for them to screw it from here. Don't get me wrong, I'm completely here for it if it happens.
Yeah, but they've got too many easy games. West Ham at home, Leicester, Tottenham, Arsenal.
It's their full focus now, though, and it's the only thing that they've got. So maybe it adds a bit of pressure that wasn't there before. But I think for all intensive purposes, I think it's in their hands. And don't get me wrong, I wish, we had only a league to fall back on, you know what I mean? So you basically go out of everything else, and you end up with only a league. Like, I'll take that. Thank you very much indeed. So fair play to them, and I have no issue with them winning it. I think they've deserved it anyway. But it is disappointing from our point of view that we're not there to kind of kick them to the line and put a bit more pressure on them, because I think that they can release now and literally just go, well, they can now focus on whatever contracts are getting done and whatnot to the end of the season, really.
Yeah.
Do you think the three that are up in the air, do you think they'll re-sign, or do you think that they're gone now? Yes.
I think Salah, his mind looks a bit like out of place, because see, he plays like he cares to play for football, but the time to see as well, he wants to basically. You can see one of the players he's done all he could for the club. So be it, he might have to just say his farewells, You understand? Based on what they offer at the table. I mean, Van Dijk looks a bit, not himself as well, at times best.
I mean, I think Trent's gone. He's going to go to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Salah.
Gallagher's going. The Irish goalkeeper's going, I think, as well. Definitely somewhere. I like him, Gallagher, but he's probably leaving. Definitely seems.
Salah, he's not going to have a season like he did this year. So even if he stays, what you're going to get, he's going to be a year older. He's not going to repeat this season. He's having a Ballon d'Or-esque season. He's like best player in the league by far. So, but can he repeat that? And I think I think if you're the owners, I mean, you only do him to keep him so you can transition to the next layer. But then Saudi are going to maybe just throw him more money than he can even pick a number of. And Van Dijk, they're saying they're flirting with PSG. So I think there may be a few dominoes there. I think Liverpool next season is going to be tricky, depending on how they replace those three talisman, best players, all of it. And even if you buy in good players, just getting everyone together is not going to be easy. So it's going to be interesting to see how they cope with that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they all go. But then I wouldn't be surprised if if Salah and Van Dijk do stay. But again, another year older. They've just won the league. Are you going to get the same out of them this season? Don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big question, isn't it? But there's talk of PSG now wanting Canate as well. So
Take them both.
They knock them out of the Champions League and take their centre backs.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Is that for grabs now? You know, as the old saying says.
That will be quite funny. But they have said that their main focus is now on Van Dijk. So, and Canate has basically said that apparently said that he's waiting for PSG as well.
Well.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm happy. The more unsettled they get, the better.
Yeah, indeed.
Same here. I'm very much anti-Liverpool brigade all day long.
Yeah.
So bring it on.
Yeah, but there's.
That's why I bought this. That's why I bought this for that reason.
The reminiscent '89.
I'll say it. I'll say it proudly, my friends. I'll say it proudly.
Yeah, and there's talk of Saka renewing a contract. There's talk of that being on the table, and Saliba as well. But the one thing that had come out today was Gabriel has been eyed by, I think it's Al Hilal for like 100 million. Do you think that would happen, or do you think?
Like you said, it's a lot of money. If they're going to offer him, no, I wouldn't want him to go. 100 million though is a lot, and maybe that will fund what we have. Yeah, that would be testing your resolve, but especially after the season he's had, and where's your ambition? But maybe it funds ambition. So, don't know. I wouldn't be able to give you an answer now because I'm 50-50, even if it's 100 million. If he goes, he goes. If he doesn't. I don't know. I've not heard that. And I think that was what was it? The beginning of this season? Was it this season? Beginning of this season when Partey started off at right back? Yeah, because I think he was flirting with Saudi at the beginning of this season. So it's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised at anything.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, anything can happen, but yeah, I wouldn't want to lose anybody. But if it's, to the point that we actually improve the team because of it, then provided we get a decent enough replacement, I'm not overly against the idea, but we've got to get good money and replace like for like. And there we go. Right, guys, I think we kind of covered everything. All remains is to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you, Tabs.
No problem. Pleasure as always.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And Bez, thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, welcome anytime, my friend, anytime. And guys, if you're watching the stream, please make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting to the video, and subscribe to the channel. Follow through to YouTube if you're not in the YouTube. And until the next time, I've been Sparks, and this is Footy Corner. We'll see you next time. Good night.